She stood frozen, the tray trembling slightly in her hands. The restaurant's quiet hum dulled to silence as every head turned toward the man in the tailored suit. His laugh cut through the air like glass. "If you can serve me in perfect Japanese," he said, voice dripping with arrogance, "I'll give you $1 million. Some chuckled. Others looked away, pretending not to see the humiliation painted across her face. To him it was entertainment, a challenge born of privilege. To her it was another reminder that her worth was constantly measured by the color of her skin. But what no one knew was that the man had just made the biggest mistake of his life. Because Maya wasn't just any waitress. And that night the tables were about to turn, in more ways than one. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching. From in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this, Maya. Jackson had worked at Osaka Garden for 3 years, an upscale Japanese fusion restaurant tucked in the heart of Manhattan. Every evening she tied her apron, smiled at strangers, and carried trays heavier than most hearts could bear. Her dream was simple. Save enough to open her own cafe one day, a place filled with warmth and music, not tension and judgment. Though she was loved by her co-workers and adored by regulars, she had learned to live with the whispers, the double takes from customers who didn't expect a black woman to bow gracefully while greeting them in Japanese. She spoke the language fluently, studied it during college, and had even spent a semester in Kyoto. But to most who came in, she was invisible until she made a mistake. That Friday night the air felt heavy. A private dinner had been booked under the name Harrison Klein, a tech billionaire known for his money, temper, and disdain for humility. Maya didn't know it yet, but this reservation would test everything she believed about dignity, courage, and respect. The group arrived, 4 men in tailored suits, confidence radiating like heat. Cameras flashed discreetly as bodyguards sealed off the corner booth. Harrison Klein, the CEO of a global tech empire, leaned back in his chair with the smug ease of someone who thought the world revolved around him. Maya approached with practiced grace. "Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to Osaka Garden." She bowed lightly. "Would you like to begin with—" But he interrupted. "Hold on," he said, tilting his head. "You're greeting us?" His tone was sharp but amused. "Shouldn't someone more appropriate be doing that?" The table laughed. Maya felt her face flush, but she kept her composure. "I'm your server tonight, sir." He smirked, eyes glinting with mockery. "Then impress me. Serve me in Japanese. Do that and I'll give you $1 million. The room froze. Even the music seemed to fade. Maya's chest tightened. It wasn't the first racist remark she'd heard in her life, but something about the performative cruelty, the way the other diners looked at her like she was a spectacle, burned deeper than usual. Her co-workers glanced from the kitchen, unsure whether to intervene. Maya took a breath. Calm, steady, intentional. "Of course," she said softly. She began reciting the menu, every syllable precise, fluent, and flawless. The billionaire's grin faltered. He leaned forward. "Well, you rehearsed that," he muttered. Then louder. Anyone can memorize a few phrases, but Maya didn't stop. She continued describing each dish, slipping effortlessly into a tone of cultural respect that made nearby Japanese patrons nod in admiration. By the time she finished, the room had changed. The laughter had died. Harrison's smirk was gone, replaced by something sharper, embarrassment. Still, his pride wouldn't allow him to lose. "Cute trick," he said, "but I don't tip for performances." Moments later, the restaurant manager approached, phone in hand, eyes wide. "Mr. Klein," he said carefully, "someone's live streaming this." The billionaire turned and his expression shattered. Dozens of eyes were on him, guests, staff, even strangers recording quietly. The clip had already hit social media, spreading fast under the tag, "To serve me in Japanese." Maya stood still, tray at her side. For once, she didn't shrink. "I served you," she said softly, her voice steady enough for the microphones to catch. "Not because of your challenge, but because it's my job. Respect doesn't cost $1 million. Silence filled the room, heavy, unyielding. The weight of his words came back to crush him. Cameras flashed again. The once mighty CEO, pale with fury, stood and stormed out, muttering something about cancel culture. The applause started slowly, then grew louder until the entire restaurant echoed with it. Maya didn't bow this time. She simply stood tall. By morning, the video had millions of views. News anchors debated whether the CEO's behavior was a joke gone wrong or a window into modern elitism. His company's stock plunged, and public apologies followed. Shallow, rehearsed, too late. But Maya didn't care about the headlines. She returned to work quietly, just as she always had. Except this time, people came not just to eat, but to meet her. Strangers sent letters, gifts, and words of gratitude. A crowdfunding campaign she hadn't even started raised enough money for her dream cafe. Months later, when she opened Kokoro Cafe, meaning heart in Japanese, a simple quote hung by the door. "Respect speaks every language." That night in the restaurant wasn't about humiliation, it was about revelation. About how prejudice still hides behind wealth and power, and the question remains, how many more jokes will it take before the world learns that dignity isn't something you can buy? Where are you watching from? Comment your country and city below. Take care.